I have recently been made aware of this horrifying phenomenon that is labeled the October slide. Now, I always knew I felt like crap when the weather changed, but I didn't know there was an actual name for it. Apparently, there is. But I kind of feel like it's a bunch of BS because if you're in the southern hemisphere, wouldn't it be like the April slide? I'm just going to call it the winter slide. And it's not a dance. It's not anything fun. The only dance I do anymore is the I gotta pee right now dance. But if it was a dance, all it would look like would be me just melting into a puddle and maybe sliding off of whatever I'm sitting on, hopefully into a pile of fuzzy blankets with a nice heating pad waiting for me at the other end. But I digress. My name's Lisa. I have been diagnosed with, at this point, as of October, what day is it? I don't even know what day it is. October 22nd, 2025. I've been diagnosed with 22 chronic health conditions, different health issues, and I've got a couple of more tests pending. So we'll see what that count goes up to by the end of the year. Anyway, this weather kills me. It kills my joints. It kills my back, my hips, my lungs hurt. I have a harder time breathing. I have a harder time getting a deep breath. I get rattly. Oh, I think I just hit my microphone. Oh, sorry about that. Um, I get rattly. I feel like I slept with an electric cactus that beat the crap out of me before I climbed out of bed. And I live alone. Well, I don't live alone. I got kids downstairs, but I sleep alone. There is no reason for me to feel like that when I wake up in the morning, other than the 22 various diagnoses. So this October slide thing, like I said, this is a new thing that I've just heard of, mainly because I'm pretty much an introvert, and I feel like when you have a lot of chronic conditions, most of us are introverts. We feel too crappy to give our energy to other people. No, no, no. And it's not that I don't want to spend time with others, I just don't have the energy for it. I mean, usually on a good day off of work, I'll try real hard to get down to my garden, do some puttering around down there if the weather's okay. But recently with this October slide thing, all I want to do is this right here. Sit right here, and I grab this blankie because it's fuzzy. And what is chronic illness without fuzzy blankies? And not only a fuzzy blankie, but you see that right there? That means a fuzzy blankie turns on and it's warm. So I cocoon a lot. There's a lot of us that get affected. I, it's hard to say the biggest issue I have is X, Y, or Z, but um, I do have Sjogren's disease, and that comes with a lot of comorbidities attached to it. So a lot of my diagnoses are I can't speak either, comorbidities of the Sjogren syndrome disease. It just got recently relabeled to a disease. Um, and it sucks, but I deal with it. I work 4 days a week. um, I have off 3 days a week so that I can go to doctor's appointments and go for my treatments or whatever needs to happen. And honestly, I work as a bud tender. So we have one dispensary here in our tiny little town, and I manage it the 4 days a week that I'm there. And I'm really, you know, living with chronic illness, I think this is probably one of the better jobs for me away from home mainly because when I first got into this industry, you had to have a doctor's recommendation to even work in a dispensary, much less be able to shop in a dispensary. And I don't mean the online 1-800, whatever these online services are. Like, you had to get a prescription from your actual primary care physician. You then had to take that prescription to the county. You had to register with the county's medical marijuana program, get your actual medical marijuana card, and then you could either shop or work in a dispensary. So I started working in a dispensary because my former job was very physical, and it was getting to a point where I couldn't function through the pain anymore. I couldn't work through the exhaustion. I couldn't. It's hard to do a physical job when your joints feel like they're going to explode, when it feels like there's ground glass in between your joints, when it feels like your body has morphed into a combination of the Tin Man and the Scarecrow, because your joints are rusty and creaky and they don't want to move, but at the same time, you're kind of flippy floppy and wishy washy, and everything just wants to explode like the Scarecrow. So, ooh, my blinky. So that's why I started working in a dispensary, was I wanted to learn more about the industry. I had been using cannabis as my method of pain relief for years and years and years before that. Never really completely understood why some made me feel good and some really didn't make me feel good at all. There was some times where I would get some and it made me feel like crap. It made everything hurt worse. It made my nausea worse. It made me feel like my guts were shaking. It was awful. And then there was other times where I got some and I could feel the pain melt away, and I could feel my stomach relax, and I could feel the pain just, I'm not going to say it went away because it never really goes away. It just becomes tolerable. Well, when I first started working in the industry, the dispensary that I worked for, they required us to have 40 hours of cannabis training. So basically, they had somebody who was very, very knowledgeable in the medicinal side of the plant, not just the I hurt so bad, I need to get so stinking high that I don't feel anything. That's not the goal. And that wasn't the goal of this training, which I really, really, really appreciate. It taught me about very specific differences between phenotype, chenotype, and genotype of the plant itself. Um, it taught me the differences between what is labeled indica, sativa, and hybrid. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are going to say, well, everything is hybridized. Yeah, everything is hybridized. I am not going to deny that. But when you get to the science of it, chenotype, phenotype, genotype, the terpene profile, things like that, you are going to have either a more uplifted experience or a more relaxed experience. And I'm always going for the more relaxed experience. If I want to go fast, I have coffee. And I make really strong coffee. Lifeblood right here. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for relaxation. I'm looking for feeling better. I'm looking for settling my stomach so that I can actually eat. And I know there's a lot of people out there that say, oh, well, smoking is bad for you. You should eat it instead, or you should use tinctures, or that's all going to depend on your body. My body has a very hard time absorbing anything. Edibles don't work on me. I stand 5'1.5", maybe at this point. Um, I struggle to stay above 100 pounds. Like, on a good day, I'm 103 pounds. I can eat hundreds of milligrams and I don't feel anything. My body doesn't process it. I have issues with my liver, I have issues with my kidneys, and this is all because of the Sjogren's. That doesn't work for me. However, I can, and just being totally honest here, cut up a bowl, load my bong, take a couple of hits and I instantly feel the relaxation. The nausea melts away and allows me to actually eat, allows me to get my medications that I absolutely have to take in my body so that I can function in as much of a human way as possible, because I don't feel human. I don't. I don't. I feel like a walking science experiment that went horribly wrong, but that's okay. Anyways, I smoke it. I don't eat it. It doesn't process. It's pointless. I need that stomach space for nourishing foods that are going to try to help my body. When you can only get in a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of food at a time, you're not going to waste it on an edible. It just doesn't, no. I also use topicals. I have an absolute favorite topical, and I am certainly, what, 2 videos in, I'm not sponsored by anybody. I love this stuff. Holy cow. This one is the CBD rich. I like this for topical skin irritations, which I've got. When you have autoimmune disease, you get like autoimmune hives and you get sometimes rashes for no reason whatsoever. So I like the CBD topical for those. For the pain aspect, like the muscular pain, I don't know if you can even see this. This one is a THC rich. Again, that Papa and Barclays. But one of the things that well, there's many things I like about them, but in addition to the pain relieving or the itch relieving properties that I get from the Papa and Barclays, I also kind of use it almost as like aromatherapy type of thing. I get a lot of really wicked migraines and headaches, and something about the smell of this stuff. I mean, you can see how much I use it, but it just, it hits those right receptors in my body. And that's something that I want to be perfectly clear. It hits the receptors in my body. Everybody's body is different. So please don't listen to anybody that says, oh, well, you have to use this product for this, or you have to use that product for that, or you can only use indicas for pain relief, or you can only use CBD or whatever the case may be. It's really experimental when it comes to cannabis and cannabis products and what works for your body. I personally love CBG. She's the grandmother of all cannabinoids. I love CBD. I love CBN. And I look for flower that has higher concentrations of these particular cannabinoids because the edibles don't really work on me. So, CBG is great for anti-inflammatory, anti-anxiety. CBD, great for inflammation, pain, anxiety, a laundry list of things. I'll put together another video that goes into more detail on what these microcannabinoids do. But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to use cannabis or weed or whatever it is that you want to call it, because it helps. Because I use cannabis, I have been able to not get addicted to a laundry list of things that have been prescribed to me. I have been prescribed Valium, Vicodin, Oxys, gabapentin, which I know it doesn't cause any psychoactivity, but gabapentin gave me nystagmus. My eyeballs would not hold still, and that was terrifying to me. Couldn't do it. I have been given hydroxychloroquine to try for the Sjogren's. It's something that is also given, I believe, to lupus patients. I don't know. I could be completely and totally wrong on that, and I am owning my wrongness. But that stuff literally made me fall over. I would be at work talking to somebody, and I wouldn't even know I was falling over until a coworker was catching me, or I was falling into a wall or something. It was terrifying. So I have weird digestion issues on certain things, but wicked sensitivities to other things. And all these chemically formulated things, I seem to have a lot of weird sensitivities to. It took a while for me to find a seizure medication that worked well for me. We're still trying to dial in my level of thyroid medication that will work in my body because we can't get that in check. And, while cannabis is not going to help the thyroid, it I really feel like finding the right strains has helped with the seizures as well as the seizure medication. Um, but all in all, it just helps with my pain, and pain sucks. And I don't like feeling like I slept with an electric cactus. And I don't like feeling like there's ground up glass in my joints. And if relief is going to come from a plant, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm not afraid. I work in the industry. I see the batch testing information. I know what happens behind the scenes, and I'm not afraid. And I don't want anybody else to be afraid either. I also don't want you feeling like the answer to pain relief is getting so stinking high that you pass out, or that you get so high that that numbs the pain, because that's not what it's all about. It's about finding relief and only taking you to the point that you are comfortable, period. I've worked with a lot of patients that have had chronic pain. I am currently working with a patient that had a stroke, which I had an ischemic stroke little over 5 years ago now. Definitely credit cannabis for that. Um, and this patient that I'm currently working with, he's never tried cannabis in his life, ever, ever, until he had his stroke. And the depression and the feeling of that the depression that he was experiencing and the additional funkiness that he was feeling from whatever medications they had him on, he did not like. And so, from the urging of his wife, his stepson, the wife's former husband, he decided to give cannabis a shot. And he is swearing that it is helping him improve by leaps and bounds. I got to see him and actually speak to him the other day. And after I walked away, I literally got tears in my eyes, because I've been there and I know what he's going through. And it just, it reconfirms how much this plant helps. So, if you're dealing with the October slide and the heating blankets and the heating pads, and this one, by the way, I absolutely love. This one goes over my shoulders and it snaps, and I wear it like a little cape, a little badge of honor. It's fabulous. If the heating pads and the heating blankets and everything else that you're trying is not working, if you are in a state where it's legal and you can go into a dispensary, it's okay to ask questions. As an almost 56-year-old bud tender, I thrive on helping people. That's why I got into the industry. Not to get people as high as they can possibly be, but to help people. Some of my personal favorite strains, I love anything that's got blueberry in it. And these are going to be like indicas or indica dominant hybrids. Blueberries, anything that's got grape in it, anything that's got the purples in it, anything that has banana in it. The banana strains help with my stomach. It helps settle my gut so that I can actually eat. The blueberries, the purples, the grapes, those help with the body pain and the relaxation. And so, you know, quite often I look for one or the other of those, or if I can get both of those, I'll cut up a little bit of both, put both of those in a bowl, smoke it together, and just wait for some relief. Um, I had a whole kind of thing written out for this video, but I'm talking to you. I'm talking to humans on the other side, not an audience that I wrote a script for, but you as a human that's in pain. So if there's anything that you have questions about regarding cannabis use, leave a comment and I will do my best to get back to everybody. Thank you so much. I hope you find relief. And screw this October slide thing.